y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the. You ain't built for a skirt as a nigga can be. It's what sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming for ya. It's what sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I come for ya. It's what sound like. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that.
Chat! What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Sunday. Excited to have you guys with us. Welcome to the Gridiron Gang, brought to you by our sponsors at BetOnline. This is the Betting News Network. That is Vsauce. That is Jess Sook. That is Trizzy Betts. My name's Sweatpan Jesus. We're so stoked to have you guys with us to start off this beautiful Sunday to get you guys ready to rock and roll for NFL Week 14. Boys, we were just talking about it. Chat's talking about it. We're talking about it. Let's just go ahead and celebrate ourselves.
Bang! Bang! It's good! Wins the game at the buzzer!
Yesterday was one of the best days of the Betting News crew's history so far. We hit both parlays from the shows yesterday. V and I hit a two-teamer. We hit the Violent Four. We hit the Betspresso Four. Betsky hit some lays. Chef hit some lays. Shaggy hit his birthday lotto. V almost hit another lay. It was just an insane day for the program. We're gonna only talk about it for a second, and then we're gonna move on to today because that's how you got to do it with the wins and the losses. But it's good to celebrate the days like this, boys, because this is why we press the buttons, baby. How we living? Ready to rock and roll?
Feeling so good. Days like today, after a day like yesterday, you're ready to attack the board, get into it, and start cooking up more parlays, right? It's nice that we get a day full of football following yesterday.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fuck yeah.
Last night was fucking legendary, but we ain't fucking done.
Drop in the ocean. Just a couple updates for you guys, and just to say this too, man. It's sorry we're a little bit late. It's my fault. Apologies, chat. But these, like, I say this, and we all talk about this all the time. Like, it's great to have days like yesterday. Like, you got to celebrate it and enjoy that shit, and obviously come back into today, as V said, with looking at this beautiful slate and be like, yeah, let's go. But always remember, regardless of if you have a bad day losing or a good day winning, on to the next day. Don't get too high on the highs. Don't get too low on the lows, man. Try to stay around the middle. Don't go throwing all your units that you made yesterday at some random shit today just because you smacked some stuff. It's all about keeping it 100, keeping it level right here, regardless of wins or losses. That's kind of how you can keep in the game long term, and you won't get too tilted either way. So it's good to enjoy the goods. Don't get too sad about the bads. We keep rocking and rolling. We vibe out and have some fun.
Yeah, bet responsibly, and then it's kind of like the old adage from sports: don't get high, don't get too high, don't get too low.
Don't get high. Yeah. Period.
Sure.
Take some profits, buy some Christmas presents, treat your wife, treat your kids, do something. We always got to reap our rewards as well. Can't just dump them right back in.
Exactly.
Love you? What?
Huh? Yeah. Well, you guys know we're donating Toys for Tots. We're donating to Toys for Tots for the entire month of December for the 25% of all the proceeds of the parlays that we hit, and we are up to over $500 so far, and it's only the 8th of December. So the tots are going to be totting, chat. Let's keep it rolling. We're going to hit some more stuff today.
Been hitting.
Parlay's been hitting, baby. Let's go. Hope you guys cashed in yesterday as well. We also saw a lot of you guys posting stuff on the timeline, hanging out with us on Playback yesterday. All kinds of things were smacking yesterday, so good stuff all around. We appreciate you guys tapping in and hanging out with us. We got a huge day today. Obviously, Week 14 of the NFL season is here. We're getting into the nitty-gritty. There's only a couple more weeks of the regular season left. Great matchups to discuss with you guys today. We're going to go game by game and talk about all of our favorite plays. Hope you guys drop some in the chat, too. You'll probably convince us to bet some stuff down there. Let me know how it goes. Last thing, and then we'll dive straight in because we got a lot to get to today. It is our dog, Shaggle Betts. Happy birthday to Shaggy Betts today, boys and girls. If you haven't already, go wish Shaggy Betts a happy birthday. It is his birthday today. We will be celebrating him, even though he's not live on the channel with us right now. Major dubs to Mr. Betts and his wide shoulders on this beautiful 28th year of life for Mr. Shaggles. Boys, you got anything else to say, or should we get straight to it?
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, man. Let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it fucking rolling, man. Vibes are high. What a day yesterday, and let's do it again today. As V said, like, it's nice to have a big, juicy NFL and basketball slate as well, staring us in the face to get us rocking and rolling. What is the question? Oh, let's get past the stutter dud, and then we'll keep going. All right, we're gonna play stutter dud because a lot of you guys. I don't know. Maybe somebody on the screen. I am in my fantasy playoff league, in my home league. Did not do so well in either of the betting news leagues, but my home league, I am in the playoffs. So, chat, this is your friendly reminder. If you guys are in the playoffs too, don't forget to go set your lineups because it is that time of the week. We're gonna play stutter dud with wide receiver, quarterback, and running backs today. First one is the quarterback position. Crazy matchup today. North of the border, well, not north of the border, north of the United States, I would say. Sam Darnold, number 4 ranked quarterback right now against the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins homecoming back to Minnesota. Last week, Darnold, 21 of 31 for 235 yards and 2 tutties in their win. Boys, what do you guys think? You think Sammy's going to have a big day? I was surprised to see him number 4, so that's why I dropped him on the list. You guys think he has a good day against this Falcons defense?
I do think he has a good day. We saw that last week this Falcons defense get carved up by Justin Herbert, and I know it was Kirk throwing a lot of pick sixes that kind of ended that game for them before it kind of started, even though they were leading. But over the last few weeks, they've just been really bad. We saw Bo Nix carve them up, Cortland Sutton have a day, and even in New Orleans catching an L to Derek Carr and his very beat up receiving core right now. So I just think that he's going to have a day. I know Kirk O'Banks is back in the building, but his replacement hasn't been a slump this year, so I expect him to have a big day too.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, boys?
I 100% agree. Yeah, Falcons are very pedestrian on the defensive end. Triz, there's no way. Sam, if he's your quarterback, he's a stud for your fantasy. You have to play him.
Yeah, I agree. And I like this matchup in general. I think there's going to be 1,000,000 points in this game. I really do. I think this could be a shootout. So I think him and Cousins probably are studs this week.
I agree with you, brother. Love to hear you say that. I'm excited to talk about this game. Lots of narratives to get to. I like some wide receivers in this game, too.
The former team narrative.
Former team,
every
Justin
wide
Jefferson.
receiver, but Jefferson.
Yeah, Jay Jettas is so due. We already have London 100 with we cooked up a parlay with Chef last night after all the bangs, with London 100s in there. Should be a good game. But Darnold should have yet another good week. Also, look out for him running. He's been really good rushing the ball, getting out of the pocket and scrambling, getting some first downs and stuff. So look out for that too. That adds your fantasy value as well. So
he's
all right,
plus 400 to score a touchdown. I thought that was a little low. Yeah,
that's cheeky, my friend. That's cheeky.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know when his last rushing touchdown was, but it can't be that recent.
Yeah. Nah, fucking World War II. Further than Nom.
But dude, like, there's a lot of like Ricky Pearsall, like he's like the third wide receiver for the San Fran, and he's wider than plus 400. And so it's like running back. A lot of running backs are wider than plus 400. That like get the ball 10 times a game. You know what I mean? Like.
If I told you there was a Ricky Pearsall 2 touchdown tickets sitting in my back pocket right now, would you be surprised, Drizzy?
Bang, bang.
Good.
All right, well, in this matchup, we usually go running back next, but since we just kind of talked about it, close your eyes, Triz. The number 3 ranked wide receiver this week is Jay Jettas. Hadn't scored a touchdown since Nom. So there's a guy who hasn't scored since Nom. He's your number 3 ranked wide receiver on ESPN right now. 7 catches last week for 99 yards in that game. Who did they play last week? The Vikings? Who did they end up beating? I can't remember. They came back.
Cards?
The Cardinals. Yeah, Cardinals. Thank you. Boys, what do you guys think? Triz, I'll let you lead it off. I know you have strong feelings. Do you think he's going to be a stud this week, or do you think he's going to continue to be
He can't be trusted. In my opinion, he could be a stud. He very well could be a stud. He should be a stud. He should carve this defense up. But I mean, how personally, this is how I feel. How can you trust him at this point, man? I feel like I've said that so many times. And
you have on this channel.
On this channel, I've said that so many times, and it's just dud after dud after dud. I like money. I don't really like to give it away. So I think I'm going to chill on betting on Justin Jefferson for a few weeks until maybe this is the week he goes off. I'll happily stand on the sidelines cheering.
I'll just go ahead and say this. I think Justin Jefferson scores a touchdown today. Finally. I put him in one of my touchdown lays. I just, like you said, I think this game's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot going on. I think that he gets in the end zones. Plus 100 for him to score, which I think is a little – I know you hate that plus 100 number, but I think he scores a touchdown this week. So I like his touchdown. I think he has a good game. Like you guys said, kind of feeding into that. Also, he had a really good relationship with Kirk Cousins. And it's like that probably competitive spirit thing of like wanting to perform against your former homie, watch them both ball out, So I like that narrative as well. So I think that he's going to have a big day today. So I like him to be a stud. You're not going to sit him if you have him. Let's be real. But
no,
I think he goes up.
No.
Yeah, you can't. Not at this point. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. 99 yards, 7 receptions last week. He didn't get in the end zone, but he finally got over that yards hump. I think, like you said, he's due. But I do like that Hawk narrative, too. We'll talk about that, Gadar.
I like that as well. I was looking at Hawk today.
He had a good relationship with Kirk, man. Like, they had, like, you know what I mean? Friendship outside of football, those two guys. And he's back in the building. He's healthy.
It's just there's just a lot of dudes that woke up today with things on their minds in this game.
Yeah.
Quite a few, couple other games that are like that too, which we'll get to as we dive into the slate. But there's some other narrative plays that are out there worth dabbling into as well.
If you're new here in the chat, we love narratives here at BN.
Oh, we love narrative plays, boys.
Amen.
Yeah.
If you can marry a good narrative with a guy who is in a good matchup, that's basically like sex to me. That's purely just straight up.
Doc a good narrative.
I sent this, Narrative Street on Twitter, right? Like they post narratives and stuff like that. So they posted the one with Tatum when they were playing against the Bucks on Friday, and it was Deuce's birthday narrative. Because it's Deuce's birthday, Tatum's gonna go off. I sent that to Gerald, and he just sent me back, bruh. That's all. That's all he fucking sent me. And we saw what Tatum did that day. I think he had like 35 or something like that. Went crazy in the fourth quarter. And then I replied to him with that same tweet again. And I was like, bruh, see? This is why we love narratives.
Bruh.
I'd like to challenge you for anytime you're on the program to do 1 hour of not saying the name Jason Tatum. And we'll see what happens.
We have a football show, and he managed to do it.
He slipped it in somehow, man. Slipped it in somehow. You guys fuck with me about my LeBron love.
SPJ, it's really funny because if you look across your screen, there's 3 of us today. So we're all here for the Boston Celtics glaze.
Especially this year.
Chad, I can't get away.
On teams.
All right, running backs, and then let's dive into today. Interesting one. Love to hear you guys' thoughts about this. Devon Achane today, number 3 ranked running back. Last week had a pedestrian performance against the was it against the Packers? I guess last week.
No, it was
no. No, I can't remember off the top of my head. But 7 rushes for only 14 yards. Had a good day through the air. 8 catches for 56 yards for the Fins. Good matchup again today against the AFC East bottom dwellers, which we probably wouldn't think. Well, I guess you got the Giants still, but that's the NFC East.
Still in that division.
Patriots, yeah, that's true. The Pats are still there. But I mean, Pats and Jets. I mean, come on.
You beat them.
There you go. See, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Achane has a good day today? The Raiders. Thanks, Prindy.
I do. I think so, SPJ. Like you said, the last game was actually against the Packers. We were confused because last week they were on a bye. So the last game did come in the cold, that Lambeau Field. We saw it. We know that this team just doesn't perform. And if this is a subpar day for Devon Achane, 56 yards, 14 yards rushing, but 8 receptions. That's a touchdown in itself right there in a PPR league, which we know is standard come, 2024. So I'm still starting this guy. I think he has another big day, especially through the air. Tua loves targeting him, and not only that, but Mike McDaniels loves putting him in space and letting him use his speed on the outside. He's great through the tackles, but when you get this guy into space, that's when he really becomes hard to tackle. So I think he's going to have a good day today back in Miami.
This is funny, SPJ, because I actually have a note written down somewhere, and Achane has actually gone over his predicted fantasy score 5 out of the last 6 games at home. I had this marked down before because I do this weird thing where, like, if in fantasy, when I'm looking at fantasy, if the guys are going to have good games, then you're going to go bet on them as well, because, like, obviously the predictive scores are for a reason. So I think he's going to be absolute stud today. We'll talk about this game. I love the Dolphins today. That's why I got the hat on.
All right. Hey, man, fantasy is the perfect gateway drug to sports betting. So that's a great analogy. If you guys are looking at setting your lineups, this is why we do this to start the show. If you think a guy has a good day in a matchup, that's basically capping the player prop. So it's pretty much the same shit. Triz, you got any thoughts on Achane? The old Achane train?
Yeah, I agree as well. I think he goes off. Somebody put 2 touchdowns in chat. I like that as well. I'm pretty sure the Jets just lost Mosley. I know that for sure. So there's their Mike gone. And then I think they lost 2 other defensive players as well. So I just don't. This defense is like a shell of themselves. Like, they weren't very good to begin with. Now you're losing 3 starters or 2 starters or whatever it is.
And Sauce is hampered if he comes to play or not.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, I think he's out. Yeah, so that's what it is. They're missing three of their biggest pieces on defense, bro. I think this Dolphins offense is going to torch today, and I think it all starts with Achane.
Yep. Sauce is out because he's with us, so he's not going to be playing today. Which is why we get that.
So no Mosley, no Sauce, and then there might even been another.
No Breeze.
The Jets are also very bad defending the running back position from a receiving yards perspective. So great matchup.
I was waiting for one of you to come in and say some stat. You guys know I don't look at stats that much.
Yeah, we got you, brother. Bottom 5 in the NFL.
Trizzy getting into the lab. He walks into his basement. All the walls are all tinfoil. He puts on his little tinfoil hat and he puts on his little tinfoil suit and he sits in front of his little tinfoil computer with his little tinfoil screen. And then he just imagines and he just sits there like this.
We laugh, but Triz watches Triz is the dude that watches game tape. He's watching the game. He's watching the fight. He's watching every round.
I have a line tracker. It's like live. I don't even look at the teams. That's blocked off by tinfoil too. It's just the lines.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Hey man, Sook yesterday also parlayed all of your UFC picks and almost smacked because of you almost sweeping. which would have been hilarious, dude.
Have you guys seen that Team USA gymnastics meme that it's like Simone Biles and the other chick, and they're just pointing at the chick who won gold? That's basically Violence Report with me and SPJ. We're just second and third, and we're pointing at Triz. And chat, if you're not watching Violence Report, I swear this dude is hitting every other Violence Report parlay we put out there.
We're talking about recaps and pin tweets and stuff like that, and Trizzy's was from the last UFC. He's like, "What are you guys trying to say?" Right? And then he comes back with a brand new recap of a near fucking perfect card.
I'll tell you this live, Triz. I had a guy DM me and say that he made almost $7,000 tailing your picks yesterday. So you paid for somebody's Christmas. Yep, there you go.
We keep this kind of information from Sook because Sook gets very nervous.
Hey man, we don't like to show off the slips around here. This is all vibes and all good stuff. We don't care if you bet $1 or $1,000. It's not about that. But when you have good days, it's good to celebrate those times. And remember that always bet responsibly, even when you hit. So,
yes, absolutely. When everybody shares the slips with us to show us.
That's the best. Yeah. That's the best part, man. That's the fucking thing I love the most, seeing you guys win.
And see, another banger he hit yesterday, 2 of them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, welcome back.
We gotta move on.
Yeah, we got to
move on.
I was gonna say something and I fucking forgot what it was. Oh, what we're gonna do? All right, before we dive into the slate, V, are you good to bring up Outlier? All right, so what we're gonna do is we are gonna today, which is Sook's idea. We haven't done this since fucking maybe week 2 or something. But as we go game by game, we're going to pick like one play in every game and make a parlay at the end of the show of a play from all the games. Maybe only not the Sunday Night Football. Well, maybe we'll see how we do. But as we dive in. All right, fine. We'll do a play in every single game. Obviously, tail what you like, chat. You guys don't have to tail the entire thing.
What happened last week, SPJ?
I know. We got to Sunday Night Football. We'll do a touchdown lay again, like we did last week, which started off the vibes of this week, and then we'll probably do another little favorite play lay. But just so you guys know, as we go game by game, don't let us forget if we move on from a game to make sure to pick something from each game.
Don't forget, if you guys build us a ticket plus 1,500 or higher, you don't have to send it to us beforehand. But if you build it, smacks, show it to us after the show, and we will send the fattest ticket a little merch. In terms of odds, not in terms of bet size. Don't be nuking these bets.
No.
Yeah.
It's all about the odds. All right, let's get to it. Chat, drop what you guys like as we go game by game. Get involved in the conversations for you too. If you're watching us, wherever you're watching us, we appreciate you being here. Let's make some money on the NFL today.
All right, boys. Big slate, big matchups all over the league. Let's start it off with the AFC South. SPJ's home. The Tennessee Titans are hosting the 2-10 Jacksonville Jaguars. Boys, Jags coming into this one as a 3-point underdog with Mac Jones under center. Prayers up to Trevor Lawrence. Hopefully he makes a full recovery and he's all right. But over-under for this one set at 40.5. Calvin Ridley playing his former team at home. He has been fantastic over the last few games. The connection with him and Will Levis has been developing great. SPJ, why don't you lead us off and tell us why Calvin Ridley is about to shit all over his former team?
Yeah, so this line dropped quite a bit. I think it opened at 6 or 5.5 last week, and it's dropped now to, as you can see, 3 or 3.5, which it is kind of sketching me out for this game as a whole. I think that the Titans should get the job done. This Jaguars team sucks. Mac Jones is not good, and I think that the Titans have been playing better football. Commanders game last week was a little funky, but just dive straight in. This is my favorite play this week. I locked it in 4 days ago. Calvin Ridley. I got 62.5 his receiving yards. It's up to 64.5. I don't care. He's hit this line in 4 of his last 6 games. He has developed an even better connection with Will Levis. They've been talking about how he's been in the building early, getting there early, staying late, catching balls off the jug machine. Brian Callahan's really impressed with what he's been doing. So you already have a good matchup of a guy who's hungry to continue to show that he's worth his contract. Second portion of this, as V said, he's playing against his former team. And the Jags, he had a good season with the Jags last year. And if the Jaguars would have paid him the money that he wanted, he would have probably stayed in Jacksonville. But they decided that they did not want to do that, and so he decided to come to Nashville. He said he's had this game circled for weeks. He said he's had this game circled since the beginning of the season. I do not see a way that Calvin Ridley does not get targeted 10 times in this game. I could see him hitting a big one. Last thing on this, the Jacksonville Jaguars, like we were talking about earlier, don't you love it when narrative and data line up? This is one of the perfect examples. You're getting a guy against his former team, so he's already going to be juiced up, ready to go. And look at what he gets to play against today. Jacksonville Jaguars have the worst statistical defense from a receiving yards perspective, and they're the second worst or third worst in the NFL to wide receivers. The cornerback room is bad. They're banged up. This team sucks from a defensive perspective. So I really, really love what Calvin Ridley's going to do today. And the second part of that is that I don't know if you guys have been noticing this, but old Mayo Man's been cooking lately, chat. Will Levis has been cooking over the last month of the season. He's been a top 5 quarterback in the NFL in most statistical categories. I took his passing yards over 214.5, and I laddered it to 300. As I said, the secondary sucks. Will Levis has really started to turn a corner over the past month of the season, not making those bone-breaking, back-breaking, terrible decisions, and he's been firing the football everywhere, hitting big plays, and operating this offense with efficiency. So I hope he doesn't come back down to earth today and maybe level out. It would be so Titans for that to happen in a great matchup. But I really think that he's turned a corner, and I think that he has going to have plenty of chances to air the ball out against this team. So I love Will Levis's passing yards. I love Calvin Ridley. And last one, and then I'll toss it to you guys. If you're not betting Nick Westbrook-Akine to score a touchdown at this point, chat, I don't know what to tell you, brother. It's plus 220. He's had a touchdown in 6 of his last 7 games. He's probably good for 2 catches. One of them is probably going to be a bomb, and one of them is going to be a touchdown. So just do yourself a favor. Go put a little quarter unit on Nick Westbrook-Akine for a touchdown. It's, as we show you, it's green as you like. He scored 2 last week. Just set it and forget it. Wow, George Pickens has been ruled out, chat. And boys, just so you guys know, no George Pickens.
Interesting.
Ah, damn. I gotta know. I like that under, and I haven't taken it yet. That's gonna move.
Mm-hmm. I liked his touchdown, but that's not gonna happen now. But anyway, you got. I kind of sorry.
2.5. Fucked up.
Yep.
Fucked up.
I said a lot, but it's my team, and I'm sure you guys like some of the things. But what do you guys like in this game? Do you guys have any thoughts?
Well, I agree with you on Ridley, 100% SPJ. I know that, it's you get I don't think the line movement is too much anything to be worried about. In terms of NFL, there's a lot of line movement that happens on Sunday. Sometimes you get a better line, sometimes you get a shittier line. Unless it's a difference of 8 or 9 yards, to me, it's not really any kind of alarm bells ringing. I've been hooked before it happens, but the matchup is there. The other thing I really like about this is the fact that Mac Jones is starting for this Jaguars team. To me, tells me that they're not going to be on the field as much. That offense isn't going to be on the field. And if you look at this Jaguars defense, you can see it right here. This is the thing I love about outliers, that sometimes these things really come into play here. Third down conversion rate for this Jaguars defense, they rank 26th. They rank 31st in first downs given up and 32nd in pass yards given up, like we talked about. They're also 29th in scoring and 26th in red zone efficiency, meaning that they have a lot of trouble stopping opposing offenses from moving the ball downfield. It's not necessarily on the run. We can very clearly see it's through the pass game. They're giving up a lot of yards, and this is strange for a team that's definitely down in most of their games, right? We see a lot of bad teams this year. They don't have the numbers that you would see through the air. That's because teams aren't really passing on them. After about halftime, you're just kind of running the ball, running the clock. But this Jaguars team has kind of been in some games that you wouldn't really expect them to, like against the Packers a couple of weeks ago, against the Colts a couple of weeks ago. But this pass defense has been horrendously bad, and I just think that this is too juicy of a spot. We talk about Ridley saying that stuff. If he's saying that in the media, what do you think he's saying in the locker room? What do you think he's saying to Will Levis? If you want to develop this connection, these are the games that matter. Feed your dude when it matters. You paid him this big-ass fucking contract in the offseason. You brought in the new coach. The quarterback is finally developing into the guy you want him to look like. Do not fuck it up in a divisional game at home. Your first home game in 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks. So I like this spot a lot for Ridley. Outside of that, I just think that it's going to be a big fucking Titans day. And I hate to say that because it's always suspect when you say it, but the Jaguars have been bad, and you guys have told me countless times, Mac Jones is horrendously bad.
Yeah, there's a reason why his 25 completions is plus 525. There's much more that needs to be said here.
Oh man, Triz.
So you got
Yeah. I kind of just like running backs in this game, kind of play devil's advocate here. I think ETN to score a touchdown might be a very good look. He's like plus 150 and hasn't sniffed the end zone. So it's like, I really like that one. Mac Jones sucks as well. Like, I know better than most people. Mac Jones is awful. Like, his decision making is not there in any fashion. So I don't think he's going to be throwing the ball too much, especially with after what Soup just said. And I also like Tony Pollard today. I think Tony Pollard finds his way into the end zone at some point. That's a pretty low line, and this Jaguars defense is abysmal, man.
If you want a little bit of narrative, just because we love that shit here, Travis Etienne's little brother, Trevor Etienne, scored 2 touchdowns yesterday in the Georgia game, including the game-winning touchdown in overtime. You know what I mean?
While we're talking about that, I have a little lotto touchdown scorer I played this morning. It's a Dunze, Pearsall, and ETN. It's like plus 10,000 or something.
Bang.
I like that.
Let's go. Yeah,
So-
I'm scared of the fact that the Titans, like, Trizzy, can you talk a little bit about, before we move on from this game, about why do you think the line dropped so much? I mean, I don't think it's too scary. It might be one of those situations where Vegas is just trying to kind of fake you out a little bit, because this line did open, I think, at like 6 or 5.5, and now it's, that 3.5 number. I think the Titans can still win this game by a touchdown or 10 plus, but what do you think?
So this isn't mentioned enough, right? The people that do this, like, for a living, that bet millions and millions of dollars on games and stuff like that, they care about lines. That's what they care about the most. They might have felt that there was value in Jags plus 6 all the way down to 3.5. And then before the game today, they might say there's value at Titans 3.5 and then bet it that way as well. And they have 4 points of movement where they can hit, or 3 points of movement where they can hit it in between. A lot of sharps do that. They'll bet it one way, hammer it all the way down, and then bet it the other way. So that could be very possible as well. I don't think it makes too much sense, especially with the Mac Jones situation. Maybe because, like, Mac threw a touchdown at the end of the game last week, but I don't think
we
that
desperately needed
much. Yeah, I really don't think that means anything. I don't know. It is some weird line movement. I will say that, but don't be surprised if that gets steamed back up to 4.5 or 5 right before the game or something.
I do have a question, Triz, though. Mac Jones, 6.5 rushing yards, 2.5 attempts. Any thoughts on that? Titans, good defense. Is he the kind of dude that can scramble? Because if you look at his 2023, he's got games where he's gotten that easily. But do you have any deeper thoughts on that?
He's not necessarily mobile. When he runs, it's basically running for his life type thing, which with that Titans defense, that could happen. I hate taking quarterback rushing yards just for the simple fact, though, if they win and he kneels, you might get cooked. And that's the worst way to lose a bet, in my opinion. Like,
especially when it's like 6.5 yards, he's gonna lose that half yard.
And he has like 8 yards or something, and you think you've been thought you won this bet since the first quarter, and then you check after the game and you get fucked. So
I will say that the Titans struggle. They're really good at rushing the passer, but then they struggle at getting home, which allows for escapability. Talked about it with Jaden Daniels last week, even though that game just turned into a avalanche. But I do think that the 6.5 is pretty low, Sook, but it might be clenching your ass cheeks for that one.
I haven't pressed the button. I just was looking at it while we were talking.
What about this?
That's a Souk prop, by the way. That is
100%.
Like right, like
on nail on the head.
Yeah, on brand.
What'd you say?
This over. Jacksonville's hit this in 9 of their last 10 games. The Titans 7 of the last 10. On the year, the Titans have hit this. Both teams have hit this in 75% of their games. I know Mac Jones is on the center, but they still hit this over last week. A lot of it has to do with the amount of points they're giving up. And I know that the last, like Chizzy just said, the last touchdown in the fourth quarter to Brian Robinson really did bless a lot of people, if that's the number you got. But, like, this feels – I don't know.
I like it. You're relying on two offenses, though, that have the capability to be just complete and total ass cheeks. So that's my only concern. I think they both have good days today. Like you said, I mean, Mac Jones is scary, but I feel like that he could maybe put something together here. And I think Levis cooks, so I think the over could be a good shout. But again, these teams have not given me enough confidence to say that they're going to show up and be awesome today. Like, they can both show up and complete terrible.
Oh, yeah. These guys got fucking 19 losses between them. We should probably move on.
Yeah, let's keep going. There's lots of other games to get to.
All right. Let's head down to Florida. Sook's team.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
We already fucked up. What prop do you guys want, or what do you guys want to take?
Fuck.
What about Pollard touchdown?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Throw that in there. The fact that we were both thinking it at the same time, I was going to say it, you said it, then throw that in there.
Rip it.
Word.
Start there.
Yeah, leave
Rip
Calvin
it.
Ridley alone. Let him be my little boy.
Yeah,
by
leave
himself.
the narrative alone, and I don't, because of the narrative, I highly doubt too many people are tapping the Pollard touchdown, especially with Westbrook Akine vulturing everything. And
All right,
I like
Pollard over minus 105. Cool.
All right. Now, let's get back on that plane to Florida. Got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming into this one as a 6.5-point favorite against Aiden O'Connell and the Las Vegas Raiders. Over-under sitting at 46.5. Boys, I've got a prop in this one I want to talk about, so I'll lead us off. It's the best tight end in football, Mr. Brock Bowers. This guy is a rookie, and he has come into the league and stamped his name as the best tight end in football right now. It's insane to even think about, but his target share is absolutely crazy. He ranks 4th in targets this year, boys. He ranks 4th in receptions. He's 1st in receptions in the entire NFL, 4th in receiving yards. And I'm not talking about tight ends. I'm talking about the entire NFL. This guy has been insane, and he's been doing it with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Now, look at these last few games. His target share has just been massive. He's seen 10-plus targets in 6 of his last 8 games. The games with Aiden O'Connell is what really gets me going here. Aiden O'Connell has been ways and above better than Gardner Minshew has. The accuracy for Gardner Minshew has not been there. You can see it in some of these games where you see him with the 10 targets but 4 receptions. It just gets really bad out there sometimes with Gardner Minshew and the fact that how badly he responds to pressure. Now you're getting a Bucs team that ranks 30th in receiving yards allowed, 30th in receiving yards allowed to tight ends, and they just have not done a good job over the last few weeks containing tight ends. I can't remember off the top of my head who they played over the last few weeks, but Brock Bowers is just such a target-heavy guy in this offense that I don't think the Buccaneers are going to have an answer for him. Plus, you're going to see the Raiders playing from behind. They're looking at a Buccaneers team that is very much in the hunt for the playoffs and the division. Them and the Falcons are currently tied at 6-6 for the division, and I believe the Falcons have already beat them twice this year. Yeah, the Falcons have already beat them twice this year, so they need this win tonight, and they need to do it in a significant manner. Mike Evans is another guy of mine in this one, so I don't know if you're going to talk about him, but I'll let you handle that one and what he's going for, but I'm also on his receiving yards.
Well, I still want to talk about this Bowers play, V, because it hurts me to say how fucking scared I am of Brock today, because the Bucs are beat up in their secondary and with their inside linebackers. If we're going to try to protect the middle, we only have 2 healthy inside linebackers. And if we try to change up our packages and try to cover the middle, our secondary is just absolutely fucked. So, like you said, doesn't matter who's under center for these Raiders. Brock Bowers has been great. So I am very, very afraid for how good he's going to be. A guy like Kyle Pitts, who everyone scrutinizes week in and week out, he fucking torched us twice this year already.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's a great point, Zuck.
Mm-hmm. On that note, just because my play in this game literally piggybacks off of that idea, I like Aiden O'Connell in this game. Give me AOC, man. His passing yards is 238 and a half. You're probably like, SPJ, why the fuck are we betting on Aiden O'Connell? This guy threw for 340 yards last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs are, I would say, top 10 in pass defense in the NFL. Yeah. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as we just said with Brock Bowers and as Sook knows, this pass defense is ass cheeks. I think Aiden O'Connell's going to have a lot of opportunity in this game. I think if Bowers has a good day, Jacoby Myers should have a good day too. And I just went with O'Connell over 238.5. I think he can flirt with 300 as long as this game, regardless of how this game goes, really. I think that because also they don't have a starting bell cow running back, they're going to give the ball to, I can't remember the guy's name. But no, it's another guy.
No, McCormick. It's like Sincere McCormick.
Sincere McCormick. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, him.
And Zamir is out, right?
Yeah.
Zamir's out too.
Madison's out. Like, I wanted to ask though, is Jacoby Myers up? I know he was like questionable or like game time decision.
I'm pretty sure he's playing from what I know.
Okay.
Which I like Myers a lot. I like him to score a touchdown too. I think Brock and Myers can eat. Myers had a great game last week for against the Chiefs. He has a good connection with Aiden O'Connell, so I like that direction as well. But yeah, I just wanted to piggyback since we were talking about the pass defense, and that's why I went with O'Connell because I think that he can sling the pill today and get 250.
Aiden O'Connell is good. I will like he's backup quarterback good. Like he's got backup QB energy in this league, and I do firmly believe that. And I don't mean that as a slight to Aiden O'Connell, but last year while he was starting in 11 games, he hit this line in 5 of those games. SPJ. I just took a quick gander. This year too, he looked much better to start out the season, but he got hurt pretty early on and faced some tough tests with the Denver Broncos defense in one of his first 2 games, and then he saw Pittsburgh right after that. It hasn't been an easy season for O'Connell. He's been hurt. Now he's back in the lineup, and he put up 340 yards in a divisional game against the Chiefs on the road, right? So this is a spot where we know he can pass, and we know he's got this now really fucking good tight end. Last year he was doing it with Devontae Adams, who really wasn't like bought into this team. We saw how that season went with him. But this is a spot where I really think that Aiden O'Connell can thrive. And we talked about this all the time. You get to this spot where you're 2-10, you're looking at next year, but the players in the locker room, maybe the team's looking at next year. The players in the locker room aren't necessarily looking at next year. And there's nothing scarier sometimes than a hungry dog, right? So I like
hungry dog there.
Yeah,
hungry dog runs faster.
And like the thing with AOC is that like you're saying he's backup quarterback, but it's like it's my Bucks. Kirk Cousins threw 500 yards, and now people are talking about should he be benched. People fucking put up yards against this team. We struggle on third down, and like I've said, we're going to be missing linebackers. We're going to be missing players in the secondary. This is like SPJ said, this is a dude that kind of played very well against KC, so this is a good spot for him on the road. That's not to say he's going to win. That's to say that his prop for his yards is looking nice.
Triz?
Bing bong.
I agree, honestly.
Is there anything else you like in this game?
Not really. I was trying to kind of stay away from this game today. The Bucks have burned me so many fucking times this season, man. Every game I'm like, dude, the Bucks are gonna fucking roll today. They should be all over this. They end up like making it close and not covering the spread. So it's like, I don't know. I think the Bucks should roll again. So because I think the Bucks should roll, it might be the Raiders.
I think the Bucks win, but like we've talked about with the Raiders so much, I think dudes like Trey Tucker, his receiving line is only 29.5. He caught 1 pass for 58 yards. I think this is very much the type of game where dudes that can catch the Bucks sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a fun game. Like this is the last prop I'd like to talk about. It's just Mike Evans here. Slick's talked about this often, but he's going for 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons, and it's not an easy task with the amount of games left. They've got 5 games left. 4 of those games are now against teams under 500, and a lot of those are bottom 10 defenses, right? So it's very possible he needs 479 yards to get there. I just think that this is a spot where both Baker knows this and Mike Evans knows this, and they know that this is not something we'll be forcing something like out of the ordinary. If Mike and Baker are playing well together, the Bucks are usually rolling. Last week, he saw 12 targets, 8 catches for 112 yards, and we saw the filthy fucking touchdown that he caught, right?
Thank you. Shout out Mike Evans.
This is just another good spot for him. I get it. They don't rank too high, again, in passing yards, but like I said, the Raiders are doing are playing from behind a lot of these games. So I do think that that's another reason. But they're going to have a hard day with Mike Evans today. And I just feel like Baker's going to target him early and often.
Yeah, they've talked about this, that Mike has said he doesn't care about getting the accolade, getting to that level of 1,000-yard seasons, but Baker cares about it. He's going to pepper this guy. We saw early and often Chris Godwin was getting a lot of the target share, but now he's gone, and everybody else in that wide receiver room isn't exactly up to snuff on a team that's trying to compete week in and week out. So Mike is going to get peppered.
And the other thing, too, is Mike hasn't played a home game since October 21st.
Yep. And he said he was good to go the week before the bye, but they wanted to hold him out another week and then give him the bye and then be like, all right, you got to ball the fuck out for 6 weeks, bro.
All right.
Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. All right, Trizzy, let's go to your division. We got the AFC East, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the AFC East with the Miami Dolphins back in Miami after a frigid to Green Bay. They're coming in as a 6.5-point favorite over Aaron Rodgers and this really, really bad Jets team. Over under set at 44.5. With all the receiving guys, with all the receivers for the Jets, we've got Alan Lazard also now back in the lineup for the Jets. Boys, which way are we going with this one? I know that, Trizzy, you were talking about this Miami offense putting up points. Where do you want to take us first?
Wait,
We
forgot
prop.
we got to take something from the last game.
We got Pollard already, and now we got into something else in this Bucks one.
Mike Evans?
I don't want to go back to Evans
White?
back to back.
What about
I like Rashad White.
I was going to say White had a really pedestrian game last week, and Bucky's coming in a little banged up, but he is playing. So
touchdown?
But Rashad had a really big play in the second half to kind of redeem himself.
So Suk knows his team best. So what do you think, Suk? Like rushing yards, receiving yards, touchdown?
Ooh, I feel like we could do Rashad receiving yards.
Or receptions? What do you think about receptions?
Is it 2.5?
No idea.
Let me check. I got it over here. 2.5, yeah, plus money.
Is there a reason why we're
hit it
bringing
in
out a
2
prop
games.
that we didn't talk about for 10 minutes talking about this game to throw in the parlay? Is there a reason why we're doing that?
Should we take Brock Bowers?
Yes. Okay. Do Bowers. Do something with Bowers, receptions or the yards.
Let's take the receptions, or we can take the yards. SPJ, you make the call.
I
No,
like the
I'm not-
receptions better.
The catches?
The yards is I think the yards is I should have touched on that. Sorry, it went over my head. But I think the yards is a little sketchy considering what the reception line is at. The reception line's like 7.5, and his yards is like 61. So you what is he catching screens? Like
I think that's 70.5 now, Triz.
is it? It's up. Even still, it's like that's I don't know. A little high for a tight end.
I'm seeing
let's do the
6.5 for minus 146.
Let's do it.
Yeah? All right.
All right. Now, back to the AFC East. Trizzy, Miami, Jets. Where are we going? Where are we starting?
So I really like 2 plays in this game. I already touched on one. He was a stud or a dud. I like Ashane 2 touchdowns today. It's a really low line. He didn't get in the end zone last week, and I think he's going to feast on this defense. And the other play I like Finn's first half. I believe they're going to do more of the dicking in the first half, and Aaron Rodgers might come back a little bit in the second half, maybe get some type of backdoor cover. I don't like the full game spread, but I like the first half spread for sure.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, actually, I really do too, because I do think the Jets cover in this one, strangely enough, just when you're kind of down on them and everything like this. Yes, the defense is bad. They don't have Sauce Gardner, but they were bad with Sauce. It's not like Sauce has been doing anything out there. I don't know how many games it's been since he's had an interception, but he's not tackling. They're missing tackles in general. And it's really like right around this time, you kind of feel like when the narrative gets really bad for a team, it's when they kind of respond. But I do have a touchdown score on the Miami side as well. I know you said you liked A-Chain, but I just saw this circulating this weekend. I was just like, Tyreek Hill now has more babies born this year than he does touchdowns scored. Now, whether that's true or not, I could care less, but it's circulating enough. But he has 4 touchdowns, I think, all year this year. Big reason has been the fact that Tua hasn't been playing, right? His injury, but even over the last few weeks, Tyreek hasn't been Tyreek, not that big kind of threat that we've come to know and expect from him. They're back in Miami after a cold game in Green Bay, off of a bye week, and they're now getting a Jets defense that is missing their top cornerback, that is not making tackles, and it's a divisional opponent that they're playing for the first time this year. They've got 2 games against Miami within their last 5. This just feels like a good spot for Tyreek to get in the end zone at plus 136 and to finally maybe catch one of those like 60, 70-yard bombs that feels like we haven't maybe seen since week 1. I just think that this is a good spot for him to get into the end zone. You can take the yards as well if you want, but I really like the value on a guy who we have all probably bet him at certain points for a touchdown at minus 110 or minus 105, right? Things like that. Now we're getting him at plus 140 with Tua in the lineup. I know Jonnu Smith has been eating up a lot of targets, and same with A-Chain out of the backfield, but a lot of that has to do with defenses that they've been facing off against, right? I just think that this is a good spot where he could really just take one over on the Jets secondary.
Just because
Jonnu
you said
Smith
his name
has got to. Oh, sorry, bud.
No, go.
Jonnu Smith's got to come back to earth eventually, man. That's what I think as well. You know what I mean? He's been in the league for how long, and he's never put up these types of numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Like he's good, but he's not elite.
No, he's not elite. He's got to come back to earth, and I think when he does come back to earth, and I'm not saying he's a bad tight end, but he's a 4 receptions, 45-yard type tight end, not a 5 for 140 and 2 touchdowns type tight end.
Talk to us, SPJ. I heard that. Hey.
I think when he comes back down to earth, I think it'll end up helping him.
I agree with Triz. I do.
I still like his 49.5 receiving yards, though. I think it's too low. The guy's had 70-plus in 3 straight games. And, if you do that multiple games in a row, for me, that's he also was the most targeted player last week. 2 of the last 3 weeks, he's been the most targeted Dolphin. When a quarterback and a receiver develop that type of chemistry on back-to-back games, I understand that he, should come back down to earth, but if he comes back down to earth with 50 yards, he still cashes his receiving yards line. So this is a bad matchup. The Jets do have a good defense, but as you guys mentioned, they've got a lot of guys banged up right now. So I watched this guy be a menace in his rookie season in the second year for the Tennessee Titans, and then he's been kind of a ghost of himself. But I think he's finally found maybe the offense that is good for his skill set as a yak tight end. And I think that he can get over. I didn't bet it just because I bet some other stuff, but I could see Jonnu Smith still having a nice day today in comparison. But I think we're all on the fins.
Yeah. I watched Smith for 3 years on the Pats, and I think I have more fingers and toes than he had receptions all 3 years.
Yeah, that was painful watching him suffer up there, man, because he's a good player.
I have a play I really love in this game, and it's kind of like because of everything we talked about. I really like Tua's over 23.5 passing completions, minus 125. He's hit it in 5 of his last 6 games, and like we're talking about, Tyreek could be good. Jonnu could be good. It's just, hey, we're at home. We're getting up against a beat-up rivals team secondary. I just think 23.5 completions. It's a little low, minus 125. I really like that play.
So,
yeah.
No, I was just going to say, for this game, do you guys just want to take that Dolphins first half? I kind of like that.
I love that play. Yeah.
You can take the money line, too, in case we get a tie.
Just check it out and see.
How juiced is that, though?
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to be like a 16-leg lay.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
First half, minus 240. The spread is 3.5 for minus 120.
Yeah, I like the 3.5 better. I think they go into halftime up a touchdown.
Let's do it.
All right. I feel like because then we can't I really like the Hill play. I also like A-Chain. I like the Tua play.
We could do A-Chain too. Yeah. A-Chain rushing yards. I feel like we were all kind of in agreement on that. No.
Or his R&R. We could take his rushing.
Or you could take his. Yeah. Be safer that way as well.
Do you guys want to do that instead?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Chat, if you guys want a little cheeky touchdown score, I did write about this guy, Alan Lazard, to get in the end zone today. It's really ugly. He's coming back from injury this week, but I just got this feeling that he's going to get in the end zone. We know that Aaron Rodgers has loved going towards him, especially when they get closer to the end zone. He's got a touchdown, like you can see here, in 4 of his last 6 games. He just hasn't played that much. Even in the game with Devontae Adams, he didn't get the touchdown, but he did still have like 40 receiving yards and 6 or 7 targets. It's just going to be a spot where the Jets need any offense they can get. Their offense has been horrendous this year. They ranked 26th in scoring, 18th in red zone efficiency, and 28th in first downs. Like, they're doing nothing to move the ball down the field. And Alan Lazard being back in the lineup might be just the boost they need to put some points on the board and, make the Dolphins sweat a little. But outside of that, I really like the value of plus 550, I think, for a guy that already has 5 touchdowns this year. He's got another one at the beginning of the year. Yeah.
He was a target monster before he got hurt. I was betting on his receiving yards, and it was just free. So I like him coming
they
back.
signed him here. They brought him in, right?
Yeah.
It's because him and Rodgers have this connection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right,
I
boys.
put-
Rodgers hasn't thrown for 300 yards in 4 years.
Yikes.
Sounds about right.
All right, boys. Off to MetLife. The Giants are coming into this one as a 5.5-point dog on the 4-8 New Orleans Saints. Over/under set very low at 40.5. The Giants have been bad. I think Neighbors was looking like he might not play this week either. Guys, where are we going in this ugly, ugly game?
Yuck.
Look at these injury reports. Really just laundry list of injuries on both sides. I don't know where. I got one prop. One maybe we can look at. It's not something I'm super, super keen on, but MVS, man.
Yeah,
MVS has just been fucking unreal with these like long ass receptions. His longest reception, I think it's over at 20.5. You can take that as well. But this Giants team, I think they rank in bottom 3 or bottom 4 in deep passes allowed. I can't remember the exact stat, but outside of that, I don't really like that much in this game. They've been underutilizing Kamara, but maybe he gets back into form with Taysom Hill out of the lineup. But he's been beat up too. I know Kamara doesn't look 100% either. Do you guys have anything you lean in this one? Any way you lean?
Yeah, I like Kamara's rushing yards purely off the matchup. This pass defense for the Giants is actually decent. I've been liking betting Derek Carr passing yards, and it's been pretty consistent. But Kamara has a great matchup. I think he should have a good day. His 69.5, nice, is his rushing yards line. You can take his rushing and receiving if you want. It's 122 because he can obviously catch the ball out of the backfield. But I like the rushing yards purely off the fact that the Giants are 3rd worst in the NFL. He's coming off a game where he rushed for 112 versus the Rams, who are 28th in the NFL, stopping the run. I think that without no Hill, like you mentioned, vulturing some carries as well, I like his rushing yards, I think, the most if I had to take it. But I'm not going to bet that. I just don't like this game.
Mm-hmm.
Triz, I'm assuming you got nothing in this one?
I really don't like it. I think there's some sus touchdown scores up. Like the backup running back is like pretty low for a touchdown for the Saints. I can't remember his name. It's like Kelvin or something, right?
Yeah, I have no clue, but I agree. Like,
He-
if you're
yeah,
still minus 140 and taking this guy to get a touchdown,
Miller.
Kendra, that's what it was. I was close.
He's actually
Miller. He's
very good.
Yeah, I mean, Kamara's been going off, like absolutely off every week. So I don't know. I just think him being up and as low as he is a tad odd. But this game is really, really gross. Like, this line makes me want to take the Giants, but that team sucks. You know what I'm saying? It's like really hard, bro. Like the Saints have been playing relatively good too. Like Vsauce said, MVS has been going off, and I don't know. Neighbors is up. He ended up playing. He's been kind of questionable all week. That might have affected the line a little bit. Drew Lock is a lot better than DeVito, and I don't know. Home dog, 4+ points. It seems like too many.
I got something we can dabble in if you guys want, because I forgot about this. I forgot to bet this, but I'm going to actually bet this live too. You just said it, Drew Lock. Now, you guys don't know, but Drew Lock last week had 57 rushing yards against Dallas. You know what the 4th worst team in the NFL towards rushing yards allowed is? The New Orleans Saints. Drew Lock, I feel like 16.5 rushing yards could be air. I feel like he's going to be good for a couple scrambles, get out of the pocket, probably not some designed runs, but I feel like that he can definitely move the sticks with his feet. 16.5 feels like he could catch that in one little 20-yard scamper. What do you guys think?
I like it. You want to put that in the
I
big
don't
guy?
like that.
Just off of that same thing what you were just saying about the rushing yards, do you want to look at Tyrone Tracy at all?
Oh, I love Tyrone. Thank you for bringing that up, bro. I love Tyrone Tracy this week, bro.
I've liked
That was
him a
the
lot.
one thing I really liked in this game is Tyrone Tracy's like rushing, receiving. I just think he has a big game in general.
Saints
And he
also ranked
Was he
26.
off last week?
No.
Hold on, let me.
He scored against Dallas.
He
No,
scored.
I mean like an off game, yeah.
Yeah, he just had an off game.
Yep, that's exactly.
like
I
it.
think big bounce back game today.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big part of their offense, man. And if Neighbors isn't 100%, you know what I mean? That's the beauty
reason I
of
don't want to bet on
Tracy.
Neighbors. He's coming off a groin and hip kind of injury. A groin is something that's very easily re-aggravated, and it's something that a player can also push himself to come back from way too early. Like we saw with Jordan Love. He came back that week against the Lions, and he just didn't look good. And
Do we just take Tracy rushing and receiving then, V?
Yeah, I think so. What is it? It's 65.5 now or something, right?
I think his touchdown's kind of spicy too.
You trust in the Giants to score a touchdown.
Gerald, Gerald's right though, boys. We literally all said we hated this fucking game, and now we've all convinced
We have to
ourselves
pick
to
one
bet.
play.
Yeah, we got to pick
we always
something.
have to pick one play. And I mean, I was on Tracy rushing and receiving before we came. I placed too many bets. I forgot.
I'm down to ride with Tracy because Tracy already had it, but I also like the Drew Lock look.
Mm-hmm. Drew. I think Drew Lock's passing yards might be a look too. I think Drew Lock in general is a good look.
Let's go with Tracy, SPJ. Throw him in there, and let's keep him moving.
You guys want to go rushing yards or rushing and receiving? Rushing is 64.5. Rushing and receiving is 80.5.
R&R?
Sure.
Yeah.
What do you have?
R&R?
I have the rushing, and I got it at like 63.
Let's go with that then. 64.5 for the rushing yards?
I like it.
All right.
I think he has a big game, bro.
All
I hope
right.
so.
Let's go to Steel Town. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns. Division rivalry. The Cleveland Browns took the first of these two matchups this year. Now they're coming into Pittsburgh as a 6-point dog, over-under side of 42.5. George Pickens is not in the lineup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to have to spread the ball around, boys. Where are they going to take the ball? And are they going to get redemption today against the Cleveland Browns, or is Jabu coming to snatch Russ's chain one more time?
I have a play in this game. Go ahead, Suck.
I was just going to say, it's Firemouth 29.5. It was before the news came out. Prendy got 27.5. I told you guys, when it's under 30, it's a set it and forget it with this guy. He is so good. And I also love the Steelers to cover today. These two teams do not like each other. Last time they played, it was in the snow. Nick Chubb ran in for 2 TDs. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I just think that game was an absolute fucking mess. And I love this fucking Steelers team. And I think they're going to be ready to play today. I don't think God's going to save Winston from pick sixes tonight.
He didn't.
I like it. So, and we see this. He's had 11 targets over the last 2 weeks as well. He's developing more and more of a connection with Russ. And now in an offense that doesn't have their top wide receiver, you're gonna see probably more play calling for Freiermuth, right? Instead of Russ having to progress to his reads to get to Pat, we're probably gonna see more designed plays for their big bruising tight end on the inside. Mm-hmm. And we can see it too. Like they rank 21st in pass yards allowed. The rest of the pass catchers on this offense are like Calvin Austin or Van Jefferson, guys that have been third stringers for their entire career.
Well, and again, no Pickens, too. He's going to get an increased target share against this Browns defense that is capable. We saw last week of getting torched. I went on the other side just to ride a hot hand that I've been kind of doubting. But I know it's chalky to say you got to go back to a guy who just had over 200 receiving yards in a game. But I'm taking Jerry Jeudy over 69.5 nice receiving yards. It's just he's hit it in 5 straight games. Jameis Winston is very clearly targeting this guy heavily in this offense. It's not an outlier anymore. This is just a stat and a data point, and it just needs to be bet. Like, I just think that he's also had 80 receiving yards against the Steelers earlier this season. I'm just not going to overthink it. So I really like Jerry Jeudy to have another good day again. I like Jameis Winston too's passing yards. I think his passing yards is a little too low. I think he can flirt with 300, especially if the Browns get down in this game. What do we know about Jabba? What's he going to do?
Air it out.
He's going to throw the fucking football. So the Steelers team obviously is good defensively, but they do have some holes on the back end. I think that there's some Browns pass catchers. If you like one specifically, it's not a bad look any way you want to go with the targets that have been happening with Winston. If you want to just take Winston straight, that's fine too. I went with Jeudy purely off the fact that he's just hot right now. He's working to continue to be the guy for this team moving forward, not only this season, but into next year too, to kind of solidify himself as wide receiver one. I think that continues this week.
Yeah, I like it. And just because, like what you said, he's going to air it out. And because of that, Elijah Mitchell is another guy that I picked him up last week off my fantasy team. Elijah Moore, sorry. And now he's playing without – who got injured last week for the Browns? I can't remember who it was. But now he's in a higher target share. Last week he saw 14 targets, but he's also still seen 8 targets in 4 of the last 5 weeks. All those games being with Winston. I do think he has another day today, too, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He saw just 3 receptions on 5 targets the last time these two teams played. But, again, that was a very, ugly kind of game in the snow. This one's going to be a little bit better weather-wise. It is going to be cold in Pittsburgh, but it's not going to be as snowy and as bad as that one. So I do think that Elijah Moore for 51.5 receiving yards is another good spot. With just how much we know that, we know – Jabu's going to air it out. And on top of that, Kevin Stefanski wants to continue to throw the ball.
I also just want to say from Gerald in chat, this is a great play, Gerald, the second-year kid. I think with Pickens out, he's definitely going to play more. I think he had 95 yards earlier in the season. He's a very, very good player. And like you said, somebody's got to step up in this game without him out. And if you don't think it's Pat, I think Calvin Austin's a good play, but I'm not seeing any lines for him currently on my book.
They're probably just resetting it because of the Pickens news.
Yeah.
All right. Trizzy, was there anything else you wanted to add in this one before we move on?
I liked the under in this game. Before we got on here, I was looking at it. It's like 43.5. Pickens got ruled out, and it's 42.5. So I do think it's a little low, but it's a divisional game, and we know how that division is specifically. They're usually slugfests over there, and we just saw the Browns put up a shit ton of points on one of the best defenses in the league. I think, again, talk about coming back to earth. I think that offense comes back to earth this week, and probably the Steelers does as well, especially without Pickens and having one of their main weapons out there. So I think it's probably going to be more of a slugfest field goal game, in my opinion. Maybe not too many touchdowns. I like the game to go under even with the line move. It's probably still going to stay under 43.
I like that. Do you guys all want to go with Freiermuth for the big guy?
I do like Freiermuth. What are we doing? Receptions or receiving?
Well, his receiving yards is 33.5. His catches is 2.5 or plus, or 3.5 or plus money. I think I like the yards a little better.
Yeah.
The yards.
30, is that soft?
No, 30.
That's fine. That's a big guy.
It's a 16-leg parlay, bro.
Yeah.
That's not soft. Let me just check what the 30 is. Where the fuck is he?
Oh, I don't even got him right now.
I don't have him either. We'll have to come back to that.
All right.
Oh, wait. There he is.
Oh,
He bumped to 37.5. That's unfortunate. I'll have to come back for the alt line, but we'll just remember that. So let's keep moving.
All right. Off to Minnesota. Kurt Cobangs back in Minnesota. We got a good one in this one, guys. We got Kurt Cobangs up against Sam Darnold. All right. Took me a second. It always does. But lots of narrative in this one. I don't even want to go over it. Let's just jump right into the game. Over-under set at 46.5. Minnesota, 6-point favorite. The Atlanta Falcons, losers of 4 straight. And the Vikings have been rolling this year. Sook, why don't you lead us off? Because I know you're tapped in with this Falcons team. Tell me, who is it? Let's kind of.
I don't know who the fuck it's gonna be, V. So I'm taking one of the annoying props you guys hate when I give to you, but I'm taking over 68.5 passing attempts in this game. I'm just gonna hope both these guys are slinging it out. This number feels super low to me. Both of these guys have had games where they have 35, 36 very easily, 40. So 68.5 passing attempts minus 105. I really like it in this game, especially with all of the exotic packages that the Vikings defense likes to play. I think Kirk Banks has shown, especially against my Bucks, when he gets blitzed, he does kind of know how to handle it. He is a savvy vet. So 68.5 minus 105. I really fucking love that play.
That sounds really fucking fire in a game where you think that both QBs are going to be trying to, put their dick on the table. Sorry, poor choice of words, but
speaking of that, we talked about this on playback last night, and I love it even more the more I labbed it. I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a game today. 240, yeah, 242 and a half passing yards. Again, this is the narrative. Guy against his former team, place he played a lot of really meaningful football in his old barn. It's an indoor game. They play in a dome in Atlanta too. I think he's going to come out ripping. Had a bad game last week, 5 picks. We talked about it on the show. Wish I fucking bet it, but he's still got over his passing yards though. He's going to keep throwing the football. The last thing is on this is I've talked about this for the last 2 or 3 weeks against this Vikings team. Great organic and exotic blitzing from Brian Flores. You know what that does though? That puts your secondary in really bad positions if you don't get home, which happens a lot to this team. They're 28th in the NFL passing yards allowed. They allow almost 244 passing yards per game. They've been torched quite consistently. They're still winning, but they're giving it up through the air. I really like Kurt Cobain in this matchup, especially on a nice bounce back after last week. I love the 242 and a half, and I did ladder this to 325 just in case he goes bananas against his former team. We've seen this guy throw for 500 passing yards this season. There's no way you can't tell me he's not going to throw the ball enough to have a big day at the office. You can get 325 for like plus 600, plus 700. I think he has a game today.
Let's go.
Yeah, I fucking love it, dude. We talked about the same angle from the same kind of angle, but with a different player. And that's one of the guys that you really helped me fall in love with, Drake London.
Yeah.
Yep.
He has been so good. And honestly, the guy that I would kind of compare him to, obviously it's very early in his career, but just from a play style, is Keenan Allen. You know what I mean? He's a very possession-heavy, very good route runner, and he's very dependable in short yardage situations. And he's very dependable in terms of if you get him the ball in position, he's not going to drop it. His hands are secure, uses his body if he needs to. And he's
not afraid to take that hit.
Exactly. And it's sometimes there's receivers in this game like Mike Evans and Keenan Allen that play the game from a positional perspective so well. And it's like in the NBA, good rebounders that aren't necessarily 7 feet tall. It's guys that box out well, right? It's the same kind of concept here with receivers like Mike Evans and Keenan Allen and a guy like Garrett Wilson with the New York Jets or Devontae Adams, right? It's position. It's a very positional kind of position. That sounds weird, but it's not always the most athletic guy or anything like that. It's the guy who beats you to the spot and secures the catch. And that's exactly what Drake London is. He hasn't had the most spectacular games, but you can see it. He has a game of 150 yards, 2 games with 85 plus over the last 2 weeks. This is a spot where Kirko's coming in with his new guy. Yes, JJ's on the other sideline, Addison on the other sideline, Hawk on the other sideline. But Kirko's not coming in with an offense that has no weapons. He's now got Bijan in the backfield. He's got Drake London on the outside. Darnell Mooney, that is easily one of the best deep threats in the league. Maybe he doesn't see the target share. And then you have Kyle Pitts, a guy who has the talent but doesn't perform week in and week out. I do think this is a good spot where he's going to target a guy like Drake London very heavily and kind of show this team. But I still got it. 5 picks last week. That means nothing. We brushed that shit off. I'm coming in for a win today in my stadium.
Well, just on the London play too, V, the Vikings are 29th in the NFL, allowing 265 receiving yards per game. 31st, second worst in the NFL, allowing 182 receiving yards to the wide receiver position. And Drake London, as we know, can get going early. I like his touchdown. It's plus 170. I think he can score today. If you like the Atlanta offense to kind of get moving, I feel like that he's got good value to score a touchdown. But yeah, his receiving yards looks nice.
Yeah. That's all I've got, Tris.
I like Hawk in this game, man. I like Hawk to score a touchdown. I like his receptions more than I like his yards, but I do think Hawk has a good game today. I like fucking points in this game. 46.5, 47. If you don't like the hook, whatever. Like both of those, I think this is going to be a shootout. I'm not going to pick a side, but I do think 6 is too many points on the Falcons. I think people are really trying to sell Kirk right now. 5 picks last week, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was a tough defense. Everybody has a bad game. You've seen great quarterback. I've seen fucking Tom Brady throw 4 picks in a game, like everybody's got a bad game. I think it's a big bounce back week for him and shit ton of points.
I agree. And you see Hawk, he had 6 targets last week. The target share has been there since he's come back from injury as well. Especially in a big, I just think that there's going to be points scored in this one for sure. And I know that this is sometimes where we expect that in certain matchups like this. But I do think this is going to be one of those spots where points are scored. And Hawk still hasn't got into the end zone this year. This might be one of the spots where he finally gets over the hump. They ranked 20th in touchdowns allowed to tight ends this year. And like we said, the Atlanta defense just hasn't really been what we saw through the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season. And whether it's regression or whether it's just what they really look like, it hasn't been good. And I expect this Minnesota team to put up points, especially with Kevin O'Connell. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell calling the plays. O'Connell. Oh, yeah.
O'Connell,
dude, Daniel Jones is over there too, man. You never know.
Hey, you never know what DJ's bringing to the room. All right, boys, we got to keep moving because we've got 33 minutes until the noon or 1 o'clock Eastern noon slate. So let's
running out of time.
I know. Let's keep it going. Wait, hang on. We got to pick a play though. Let's pick a play.
Too much yapping.
Yeah, too much yapping.
Do we like Drake London? We all liked JJ a lot today from what we were talking about. We didn't talk about him, but we did spend a lot of time talking about him earlier.
Or we can take Kurt Cobangs.
Yeah.
I like that too. Kirk O'Bang's passing yards.
I like his passing yards, I think. I think we go...
Or even passing touchdowns. You can do that too.
We can either go Kirk for 235.5 passing yards, or we can take London.
So you make the call. You've watched this team probably the most over the last 2 years.
The London line feels low.
69.5. 70.
Nice.
Got it nice. All right, let's keep it going.
All right, we got the Carolina Panthers coming in against the Philadelphia Eagles. SPJ has $3 million on the Philadelphia Eagles money line. I don't know what he was doing when he placed that bet. But the over-under in this one sitting at 44.5. Eagles 14-point favorites at home. Guys, the Panthers have been scrappy the last 2 weeks. Bryce Young has looked good.
4 weeks.
Sorry, the last 4 weeks, Bryce Young has been under center for all 4 of those games. They now have 3 wins on the season. Where are we going with this one? And is that $3 million bet a shit bet, Trizzy?
Yeah, that's a rat shit bet. All I'm saying, let me say this as well. Everybody in the chat should know this. If a sports book is letting you put $3 million down on one singular bet, you've lost way more on that book. There is no way any book in America is letting you put $3 million down on a bet. Like even that, that Mattress Mac dude, that dude has to make calls to see who is going to take $1 million bet. Never mind fucking 3. A lot of that shit is all marketing. It's all X, Y, and Z. And I don't think it's that safe, honestly. If we're being the fact that they posted that ticket and they're talking how funny would it be after that game? This bettor loses $3 million on minus 700 because the fucking Panthers win outright. You see it all the time. Exactly. Those big bets are all marketing. So
I just want to say one thing, and I agree with you. As soon as I saw that, I immediately wanted zero to do with this game. Nothing. I don't want to touch this. Anything. Prop, I don't care. Miss me with everything about this game.
Yeah, boys, there is some looks in this game though.
I'll let you talk about it.
My staff article pick of the week was a 95.5 rushing yards team total for the Carolina Panthers. They average 105. the Eagles give up 105. That number doesn't make sense to me then. They also bring in Jonathan Brooks, who has been slowly brought in. This will be his third week playing. I think he's a very, very good player. You can see he can catch the ball. So now you have Chuba and Jonathan Brooks, who are dual threat backs. And you got Jonathan Brooks coming out and saying, hey, I am his little brother. He's taught me a lot. I just think the Carolina Panthers are going to run the ball on the road today. And also, speaking of how scared you guys are of the spread, guys like JC Horn have quietly been one of the best corners in the entire league. This Panthers team is very, very sneaky the last 4 weeks because all of these guys are buying in. Vibes are high. There's a reason why all of my all the dudes on the screen with us are spooked about that whole spread in this game.
Yeah, you can see the green right here with Chuba's rushing yards. I know that the line's set pretty low because they're not expecting the Panthers to run the ball a lot. But look, I kind of agree with you here. If you want to keep this Eagles offense off the field, you need to be able to run the clock. And one thing the Panthers have done well over this year is run the ball, right? We see Chuba with multiple 100-yard games, multiple games over 90 yards. And that's really tough to do when you are playing from behind in a majority of these games. They're coming off a game against Tampa Bay where, they were in that game a majority of the game. He didn't hit his rushing yards line. But some of that had to do with the fact that they were just really airing out the ball, and Bryce Young was doing a lot through the air. This is going to be one of those games where the Philly secondary has been really good over the last few weeks. They've stepped up their game from last season and the beginning of this season. If you want to keep them off the field and you want to prevent them from scoring points, especially with how we know that this defense is for the Panthers, you need to be able to keep them off the field. The Panthers, I think, rank 32nd in rush yards allowed per game, and we know Philly is the number one rushing offense in football. So it's going to be one of those situations where you got to kind of play chess to win this game or to stay in it. And we know that their head coach is more than capable of doing that. And he's been doing that over the last few weeks in these really close games against some really good teams. So I like this spot. I think I agree with you in terms of what it's going to look like on the ground for the Panthers today.
Since we have 30 minutes and we got a lot more games to go, how do you guys feel about just taking the Panthers plus 13.5?
No, you got to take 14.
Okay,
Fuck
that's
that
fine.
hook. I hate the hook. I hate all hooks. You know what I'm saying?
What do you guys think? I mean, chat, maybe sprinkle the Panthers money line, but
you know what this game reminds me of? Actually, we'll get off of it. But do you remember a couple years ago the Titans were like 13.5 point dogs on Thursday night or something?
No, it was Monday night against the Dolphins.
Monday night. Yep, Monday night against the Dolphins. I remember it was during the week.
You know who bet him? Triz to win.
That guy, exactly. That's what this game reminds me of.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh my god, that's so funny, man. But yeah, I like the yardage plays for. I was just looking at this right now for both Jalen and Saquon. Mad juice to the over. 113 yards for Saquon is crazy. Just because you need to be on the field, big plays or anything like that through the air could squash that kind of line for Saquon. I do like the rushing yards. I know he's putting up historic numbers, could beat Eric Dickerson and all that noise, but that's a tough line to take, man.
We can get the Panthers plus 14.5 for minus 130.
I'm down.
Just got to not lose by 2 touchdowns. All right. Let's keep it going.
Let's keep it moving. All right. Off to the late slate. Let's start off with the divisional matchup, boys.
Finally.
We have the Seattle Seahawks at 7-5 going into Arizona at 6-6. Boys, this division is wide open right now. The Cardinals were tied for the lead up until last week when they caught an L. Now we got the Seattle Seahawks coming off a win on the road, back on the road in Arizona. 3-point dog, over-under set at 45.5. Guys, the Cardinals have been overperforming. Even the loftiest expectations set for them. Kyler Murray has looked fantastic. Marvin Harrison Jr. looks like a touchdown machine. And Trey McBride just looks like unstoppable. Where are we going in this one? And is it the Seahawks or is it the Cardinals?
I don't know, man.
I ain't touching this one.
Yeah, this game's weird.
I do know the Cardinals are the most popular the Circa contest or whatever, like the big money contest.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the Cardinals are the number 1 pick today for that.
Oh, Triz, I tell you, I won mine.
You what?
I won my survivor pool. 550 people.
Did you?
Yeah,
Let's
me and the
go,
last
bro.
guy split it. Yeah, it's sick. Me and a couple buddies always enter, so it's sick.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Good shit, dude.
Yeah, seriously, that's 550 people. That's kind of crazy.
Second time in the last 3 years that we won.
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
But yeah, let's keep moving.
Yeah. I always think that's a red flag, though. I mean, granted, all those guys are really good, and that's why they're so late in that contest. But when you got all of them on the one side, it's not the best.
It's not, and we saw it so many times this season. Like the Ravens, we saw with the Bengals in Week 1 against the Patriots. It's been a year full of fucking weird upsets. And this is a divisional game. You're getting the division leader coming in with a 3.5 point spread against a Cardinals team that is so Jekyll and Hyde some weeks. Like some weeks.
But what are we, boys? What are we taking? Because we are absolutely going to run out of time, V.
All right.
We are going to. If you read off, I'm sorry, I'm going to break now. If you read off every stat for every fucking game, we are not going to have time.
I've got to play Trey McBride. Trey McBride is set it and forget it. The target share has been fantastic. This is a tough Seattle defense. He's going to see a big target share, especially in a divisional matchup. 12 targets last week, 15 the week before that. When Kyler's under pressure, he's going to Trey McBride, and the yards after catch are been phenomenal. Give me Trey McBride. Anybody else have anything?
I like the over, but no, I don't like this game. I don't know. Just something about it just feels like it's going to be close, and maybe James Conner rushing yards, but I didn't really lab this one too heavily.
Trey Benson's up for a touchdown on Prize Picks. I thought that was incredibly fishy. The dude barely gets the ball.
Yeah, that's really weird.
And he's like a demon touchdown too. He's not even just like a normal one. He's up there for a demon.
Interesting.
I mean, do you guys want to just skip this game and not include
Jim McBride?
Yeah, McBride. McBride or Harrison yards. Done.
Okay. Let's do McBride. Harrison actually did get the job done last week, but McBride 66.5 or catches?
No, yards.
Yards? Okay.
All right, San Francisco, Chicago Bears on the West Coast. Boys, this line seems kind of fishy. We know that the Niners have been beat up, though. They have no defensive line right now. Over the last 2 weeks, they've given up 6 rushing touchdowns. What's going on in this one?
I know Trez wants to talk about this one.
I think this is a great spot for the Niners. I think this is a perfect buy low spot on them. I think they should run right through the Chicago team. The Chicago team is not good. I know their defense is banged up, but Caleb's been running for his fucking life all season anyway. I don't really think that you have to have a great defensive front to really get to him. I do like 2 touchdown scorers in this game as well. I like Rome Odunze plus 320. I think that's a tad low, and he hasn't scored in a really long time. He is getting the ball. Him and Caleb are trying to build this connection together. DJ Moore is everywhere for a touchdown today. So I never want to take somebody that's posted everywhere for a touchdown. Odunze, like I said, he's a little due. Keenan Allen had a multi-touchdown game a couple weeks ago. I think Caleb is going to try to feed the ball to Odunze today and get him in the end zone. The other touchdown scorer I like in this game is Ricky Pearsall. He is very low for a touchdown as well. He's plus 350. He's been doing all right. He's not getting the ball too many times a game. Juwan Jennings is back. George Kittle's playing. Debo's there. I just think that's a little too low. I'm going to take a shot on Pearsall to score a second touchdown. And if you want to play a little bit of a narrative, both of those guys were drafted late first round, early second, I think. They might have both went in the first. Regardless of the fact, I think it could be a good showcase for the new receivers coming in.
Let's go.
Okay. I fuck with that a little. Triz.
Just to throw something from the other direction, because there's no CMC anymore. Isaiah or Mason. What the fuck is his first name? Anyway, the second back, Jordan Mason, who had a great start to the season. He's also out. So we're going to get old Isaac Garindo running out of the backfield for the San Francisco 49ers. Over 71.5 rushing yards. I kind of like it, man. The Bears are 29th in the NFL, allowing almost 120 yards on the ground to running backs. this Niners team, as Trizzy said, they need to get back to the basics of what this team does, and that is running the fucking football. Good team to get up against it and kind of just bash them down the throat at home. I like this Garindo kid. We've talked about him. Trizzy had that crazy touchdown call, which he slid at the 1 yard line, which was pain. But I don't know if I haven't bet it. I don't know. I might bet it later if I hit some stuff early on because this is a later game. But I think Garindo is going to have a day today. I like the over 61 or 71.5 rushing yards.
To piggyback off that as well and go with Pearsall. Pearsall's been getting a lot of jet sweeps in the offense as well. So it might not even be receiving. It could be rushing.
This is one guy I was looking at just because I know that Swift is beat up in the backfield. They don't have Roshan Johnson in the lineup. I was looking at Roshan just because the Niners rank third last in rushing touchdowns allowed to running backs. So I thought it was a good spot for one of these running backs to get into the end zone, especially because we've seen the Bears, like over the last few weeks, get into that goal-to-goal situation very often. And they've gone to Roshan Johnson every single time. Even when their offense was completely dry, not scoring touchdowns, he was the one breaking the seal, getting the ball into the end zone. Now you're getting a guy like DeAndre Swift, who is a little bit smaller at the running back position. He likes to play outside the tackles more than he does inside and heavily into the pass game. When they get to that goal-to-goal situation with how bad the 49ers have been, because Nick Bosa on that defensive line has really beat them up. So I'm going to take a stab here on Travis Homer at plus 200. That feels super low for a guy who really hasn't even seen the field this year. But again, you got no Roshan Johnson. The other guy that they brought in from the Bengals, I don't think he's active for this one either. I don't see his touchdown lineup anywhere. So give me Travis Homer at plus 200. I just think you get him on the goal line, right, at his size, 5'10", 200 pounds. You got Swift, who's a beat up. Give him the running back and let him get into the end zone. Give him the ball.
Yes, sir. All right, boys, I got to take off. Sorry. Love you all. Let's make some fucking money today.
Love you, Triz.
Later, buddy. Appreciate you, homie.
Oh, Triz.
Trizzy.
Yep.
Touchdown.
And your prop for the bet special 4. Or, I mean,
A touch. So one touchdown. I want Odunze in there, and then one prop. Tyrone Tracy rushing yards.
got it.
Bang.
Bang.
All right, buddy. Later, homie.
All right,
Have a
boys.
good Sunday.
Love you guys.
Peace.
All right.
Fucking.
For the big guy, SBJ, for this one, do you want to throw in what was it? Trizzy just like the touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
I liked Homer. Who should we pick in this one then?
I like
Should we pick
Garindo
Garindo?
rushing yards. We could
We
take.
could do Garindo rushing yards. Instead of
take that?
instead of taking one of the sus touchdowns, because we're gonna have Odunze in the touchdown parlay,
Yeah. All right.
and then
Yeah.
Travis Homer is just something like I'm taking my own little corner.
Do you like that, Sook?
Yeah, we can do Grunde.
All right, Buffalo taking a trip out to Hollywood. The Rams. The Rams are also 6-6, looking still to take their division. Buffalo enters this one, locked up the division, locked up a playoff spot at -3.5, over under set at 49.5. Guys, Buffalo's finally getting out of the snow. We see a fun one in Buffalo, in LA.
Yeah, it should be a good game. I kind of like the Rams in this spot, man. I don't know why. I feel like this line's a little short. 3.5. I don't know. I like this Rams team. I really like what they do on the offensive end. Obviously, I was looking at taking something Puka Nacua because I really think that he can have a good day today, especially if I think the Rams are going to cover this 3.5 point spread. I would think that this line should be more like a 4.5 or a 5.5, the way the Buffalo Bills are playing right now. Don't you guys agree?
I do agree, but I just played the 3.5 and thought it was a gift.
It could be.
Yeah.
I like the over too, 49.5. I could see this turning into a bit of a track meet, especially in indoors, good weather.
I think, I really do like that over SPJ, just because both offenses have been good. And now that you give the Rams back their two top wide receivers in Puka and
Cooper Kupp.
they're putting up points once again, right? Kyron Williams has been fantastic out of the backfield, and Matt Stafford is still fucking doing it at his age.
Do we just want to put the over in the big guy then?
Yeah. If we want to get like fucking chalky, we could take James Cook to go back to back for us too.
Oh,
We could put him just in the touchdown guy.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's go with the over, SPJ.
Okay. Over. I do like Nakua, though. I think I'm going to end up betting his yards if I do well in the beginning slate. 15-minute warning. Thank you, Iconics.
Thank you.
We're moving. We've got Sunday Night Football, and then we're chilling.
It's nice how well you know us, though, Iconics.
Yeah. All right, last one. Sunday Night Football.
All right, Sunday Night Football. Guys, this is going to be a good one. I wish Shags was here, but happy birthday to Shags. And is his birthday gift going to be a Chiefs win? SPJ?
Probably, randomly. They're going to win somehow. They always do. We were talking about this last night. I really think that Ladd McConkey can just go keep doing what he's been doing. I know he's a little banged up, but Ladd McConkey's receiving yards looks nice at over 60.5. He's been great for the past 3 weeks, as you can see, for the last 5. Justin Herbert doesn't have anybody else really to throw the football to. So I like that play. The other one that I think is worth mentioning is Will Dissly. His receiving yards, he's gotten a little bit more run in this offense. This Chiefs defense is the worst defense in football to the tight end position. They really cannot guard tight ends. So I like Dissly as well. I think his receiving yards is a good shout too.
I like his receptions as a parlay piece.
Yeah. What is it, 4.5 or 3.5?
3.5.
Yeah, I like that.
I like both of these plays. I wasn't super convinced when we talked about it yesterday, SPJ, but you and Chef quickly corrected me in terms of this Chiefs team and how they played against the tight end. 32nd ranked. And the thing is, too, is if you look at this right here, let me just share this tab. You can see the target share for both McConkey and Dissly. It's been astounding. Quentin Johnson is their third most targeted wide receiver, and we know how bad he has been this year in terms of drops and everything like that. Like, it's really weird to see they don't have anybody else now in this offense to catch balls besides these two guys. And you know that when you are playing the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to be able to pass the ball. And this is the team now that's lost J.K. Dobbins, who was their top running back. I know they're a good running team, but Gus Edwards has not looked anywhere near the level of what J.K. Dobbins has been doing. And that's going to be, I think, a big loss for this team. And I think because of that, I love this Dissly play. Honestly, the 2.5 receptions seems more comfy. Or 3.5, did you say?
3.5.
Yeah.
I feel like that feels comfy for Dissly because he's going to need a little bit of an outlet with how good this, Chiefs front seven has been this year. Like, Chris Jones has been on a mission, and it's no surprise that they're 11-1 this year.
Well, also if you look at the receptions allowed to the tight end position, 32nd last in the NFL, allowing almost 7 catches a game to tight ends is this Chiefs defense. So I think we can just roll with Dissly. I like McConkey a lot too. I think he can continue to cook, but with how bad he could get a little more banged up too. It's an Arrowhead. It's gonna be cold.
And it's just 4 receptions.
Yeah. Should we just do the catches?
Yeah.
You down with? I mean, Sook, sounds like you're down with it if you bet it.
Yeah. I did want to take Josh Palmer too, but he burned me last week, so I like Dissly.
You gotta go back to the wagon, brother. Why is it not letting me bet catches on here? You sons of bitches. There's nothing. Did they drop some news about this game right now? Because I can't. There's no Charger props that I'm seeing.
That's so annoying. No, I don't see anything.
For the receivers.
Let me take a look.
I wonder if the McConkey news is coming out because I don't see anything, which is sus because we have 12 minutes. We could also just not include anything from this game. I mean, I'm staring at 10 legs right now for plus 52,961. I think that'll be fine.
Yes.
Oh, right now we have to. So,
yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna lock it in then. I'll read it off chat, and then we'll cook the touchdown lay. We'll cook our favorite plays, and then we'll get out of here and let you guys enjoy NFL Week 14.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. I'll read it off. 10 legs, one from most every game today. We skipped a couple, but I'm sure you guys are okay with that. Take them as you want. Take it all. Bet it straight. Don't bet it. Doesn't matter to us. Tony Pollard to score a touchdown. Brock Bowers for 7 catches. Devon A-Chain over 99.5 rushing and receiving yards. Tyrone Tracy over 62.5 rushing yards. Drake London over 70.5 receiving yards. Pat Freiermuth over 36.5 receiving yards. The Carolina Panthers to cover 14.5. Trey McBride over 66.5 receiving yards. Isaac Garindo over 72.5 rushing yards. And then the over in the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams game. I'm not going to say it again, chat. You guys can just go watch the replay if you want. That's a lot to read off, and we got more to do. So, all right.
All right, touchdown lay.
Yep. All right, so what was Trizzy's? Dunze, right?
Dunze, yeah.
I didn't really get a chance to argue with him on that, but we're just putting it in. So, I mean, plus 300 for a putt touchdown lay, but we're rolling. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're going to the moon, baby.
Dunze, all right.
You guys want to take? Do you guys want to take Calvin Ridley or Nick Westbrook-Akine?
Ooh, I'll let you pick. That's your team.
Man,
Odds are the
Ridley.
same for me.
Let's go Ridley against the former team. Okay. Sauce man, typey.
So wait, who did you go with, Luke? Or
I didn't
Yeah,
pick it.
Roma Dunze and then Calvin Ridley.
Dunze, Calvin Ridley.
Who do you like?
I'll go because I got Rashad White because I know Trizzy liked it too.
All right. Plus 130. Okay. Take us home, V.
Drake London.
Yeah, I like that. Drake London.
London. Let's go.
Those 4 legs, chat. Roma Dunze, Calvin Ridley, Rashad White, and Drake London for plus 73.63. That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
I'll do.
That'll do. All right. Favorite plays? Hard to pick on this slate.
Yeah, I'm not gonna quadruple down on Brock Bowers.
Okay.
We have McBride and the other big guy.
Oh my God. My favorite play, I think I forgot to even pitch, is Jonathan Brooks, 30.5 rushing and receiving.
Ooh, okay.
Against the Eagles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what you want to go in here?
I do, yeah.
I don't know if I even have it. Let me check.
If you don't have it, then I'll find something else.
$33.5. I got it.
Ooh,
Okay.
move it up.
I'm going to go Aiden O'Connell passing yards.
It pains me to say that I like that play a lot. Like it fucking hurts, dude. But I like
Sorry.
it.
I'm sorry.
I
brother.
know, but I like it so much.
237.5. Yeah.
What was
sorry.
Trizzy's favorite prop? Do you guys recall?
Yeah, Tyrone Tracy rushing yards.
Oh yeah.
We already have that in the big guy, but we're riding with Tyrone.
He's great.
Mm-hmm.
I also like Wandell. We didn't talk about him at all.
Where's Tyrone? There he is. Sauce, take us home. What do you like?
We
Favorite
have
bet?
what from the Jaguars game already? No, right?
No.
Man, I've been looking at this more and more, and I really want to take Pollard's rush yards at 60. It's a little bit more juice, but at minus 140, I feel like the value's there. He's averaging over 4 yards per carry week in and week out. The last few weeks, he's gotten less than 10 carries in 3 of the 4 games. But hopefully, the Titans are playing with the lead in this one, right? And he can run it out at the end of the game, and hopefully, even get us 20 to 30 yards in that fourth quarter.
I love this. I mean, I've been betting it a lot the whole season, and this Jaguars defense just sucks in general. So 64.5 is good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got Jonathan Brooks over 33.5 rushing and receiving yards. Aiden O'Connell over 237.5 passing yards. Tyrone Tracy over 62.5 rushing yards. And then Tony Pollard over 64.5 rushing yards plus 1206. Bing, bong, bang. That'll do the job, boys.
Now that we're all cooked, I just want to say because tomorrow, Jake Ferguson over 4.5 receptions. Take it now. It's plus money. And take the touchdown at plus 300. You'll lose that value by tomorrow.
Are you going to watch the Simpsons version of that game, or are you going to watch the regular version with how much you love the Simpsons?
I'm going to watch the Simpsons.
Of course you are. I expected nothing less.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Cowboys money line, V?
Cowboys money line? No, they've been bad, but I'm taking props in that one instead. That's why I'm taking like Jake.
But they're playing the worst, good, bad, weird team in the NFL.
Yeah, I think Cooper Rush is gonna put up big numbers, right? But I just don't know.
You're just taking props in that one.
That's why I'm taking Jake Ferguson. I think he's gonna have a big game. We saw Schoonmaker get 20 targets over the last 3 weeks, and it's gonna be similar for Ferguson. Their tight end one now coming back. I really like the spot for him tomorrow.
Yeah, Fergie's been beat up, but he's great. We talked about it before the season started. We both liked his over receptions on the season.
Yeah, and he's been really fucking good. It just sucks that he was injured for the 2 games because of concussion, but being back now, Cooper Rush has also been good over the last 2 weeks.
We'll have the chance to talk about this tomorrow as well on Afternoon Bet Espresso, which maybe V will be with us tomorrow for some primetime action. Yeah. For that game. But we hope you guys enjoy the entire slate today. We did have to power through near the end there, but we made it. Just barely. By the hair of our chinny chin chin. And Sook got to yell at V for a second, which I'm sure made him happy.
V loves his stats.
Can we just London, Ridley, Odunze, and Rashad White?
Rashad White. Those are the 4 touchdown scorers. If you guys would like to ride it out with us, feel free to. For the tots, we want to add more to the pot. And then the other lay is Aiden O'Connell over 237.5 passing yards, Tyrone Tracy over 62.5 rushing yards, Tony Pollard over 64.5 rushing yards, and then Jonathan Brooks over 33.5 rushing and receiving, plus 1,200. Bing, bong, bang.
Since we have maybe a few extra minutes since I yelled at V, do you guys want to take like Mike Evans for 100, Drake for 100, and maybe 2 other guys for 100 and put a cup of coffee on it?
Yes.
Sure. Let's do it.
Mike.
Right.
Sure.
Mike Evans for 100?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be at the death. We'd love to see it.
We got it.
Trey McBride.
Okay.
He had 113 last time they played the Hawks.
Who did you say? Mike Evans? What was the other one?
Trey McBride, Drake London.
Oh my god.
100. 290. Okay.
Should we do
McBride?
Tyreek 100?
I don't want to bet that guy, dude. I like the look. I love the look. I think it's great, but he's just been... Who?
Judy.
I could get down with that.
Judy could be the last leg. He should have good juice, right?
We could also just take Jabu for like 275 or something.
Sure. You got 2 minutes. So whatever your gut says, SPJ, and so run it.
I'm trying to get it in. We had Trey for 100, Mike for 100, Drake for 100.
Yep.
And then I think, is it Jabu then or Judy?
What do you think? Chat, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll defer to chat too.
I think we go Winston.
Winston?
To 300s plus 320. Both. Sauce, what do you think?
I think Judy.
Judy? All right.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let's go to Judy. I already got beans on it. Where is it? There
I mean, did you guys see that video where they were like showing that Winston really likes Judy and like the plays that he knows best, like off memory and like the Hard Knocks or whatever it was, is like the Judy plays.
Mm-hmm. The Judy plays. Mike Evans, Drake London, Jerry Judy, and Trey McBride, the 100 Club, all for $100, plus 25,000, just for a little.
Cup of
Little
coffee.
duster.
Yeah.
A little cup of coffee, eh? All right, boys. That's Vsauce. Go follow him on socials. Go follow Just Sook. Go follow me. Go follow our dog Trizzy Bats. Go follow all of us at Your Betting News. We really appreciate you guys tapping in. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Thanks for sending us all the love and the slips as well for hitting the parlays. Hope you guys have been tapping into the shows and listening in and also smacking your own parlays. That's why we do this. Why we love doing it so much. Go out there and enjoy Week 14 of the NFL season, which is about to kick off in the next couple of minutes. Go check out bettingnews.com for free sports betting info every single day. We love you guys so much. Thanks for being here. You guys got anything else?
Let's have some fun.
Oh, we always have fun.
Oh, we always have fun. Look out for Vsauce and I going back-to-back. We'll have a 2-teamer for you guys later today. And we hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes. Have a kick-ass Sunday, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace!
What you know about rolling down in the down in the
Now I know y'all be loving this shit
What you
right
know
here.
about rolling.
What you gonna do?
Rolling.
What you gonna do?
Down in the rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit.
What you know about